What was the thing with the like being stressed out and the power posing? Okay, I feel less stressed. Because most of you are developers, you know that it's quite hard to explain technical things to non-technical people. So I will try to give you an advice of how to do that and improve that skill. Let me give you a little bit of background. I'm Martina, I'm a project manager right now, one of those annoying non-technical people. Everything started for me 4 years ago when I was attending Erasmus Sofia. I was quite stressed out. It's Erasmus Sofia, for the ones that don't know, it's an event for women, for beginners, and it fights the stereotype that women cannot code or they're not as good as men. So yeah, I was stressed out. I thought that I wouldn't understand anything, that I would be asking some really stupid questions. But the atmosphere there was really friendly, it was really positive. And not only I learned some basic things about programming, but I also learned a very valuable lesson that I shouldn't be scared of trying new things. And I shouldn't be scared of making mistakes. So I was really inspired afterwards. I became a volunteer for the initiative, and afterwards I even became a part of the organization team. This gave me the opportunity to learn new things, to develop a really diverse skill set, and that really helps me right now in my work. And it also gave me the opportunity to observe one thing, that Rails Girls or initiatives like Rails Girls for beginners are not only for participants to learn about coding, but also for coaches, developers, to learn how to explain technical content to non-technical people. And a lot of our coaches were quite stressed. They weren't very confident that they will make the best of it, to explain in an understandable way the technical content. But with time, after every edition of Rails Girls, they became more confident, and they became they were feeling confident about doing that even in their work. So their work became really easy, and they shared that with us. So here's the advice: if there is a Rails Girls event in your city or in your country, go for it. Become a mentor, become a coach, and practice it, because mentoring and communicating with people is a skill as any other. And if you want to master it, you should just practice it. So yeah, find these initiatives. Volunteer, mentor, and if there is none in your country or your city, just create it. Thank you. I'll be around, so if you have any questions, let's chat.
Thank you, Martin. Next one is Vladimir with hashtag Ruby Thankful.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Okay. Let's start. Well, first question, do you know this hashtag? Have you seen it ever? Wow. It was pretty popular years before I joined Twitter, actually. I think about 4 or 5 years ago, and many more. And right now it's not as popular. I learned it about a couple months ago, and someone tagged me on Twitter with this hashtag saying, well, thank you for fixing this bug and some of my jams quickly, fast. Great, cool. Let's say thank you to each other. Cool. And I realized, well, we do not tell to each other nothing except from back records and pull requests, right? And then let's talk about this problem a little bit, and with some diagrams. That's a kind of playbook developed by one of my colleagues and presented as a recent FOSDEM. It's called, this exact diagram is a participant conversion. Let me make it a little bit clearer. It shows different stages of open source projects and different roles of participants, from spectators, so just hanging around and adding stars, to maintainers. And the interesting part here is the second and the third phases. So I believe everyone here is an open source user, right? Because, well, it's impossible to write Ruby applications without using open source libraries, tools, whatever. But what does it mean to be a reporter? Well, it's pretty clear who is a contributor and maintainer, I think. And how to convert from a user to a reporter. Well, there are two things that most of us doing every day, maybe reporting issues and submitting pull requests. But there are also other kinds of activities which are too rare to find in the open source. The first example is asking questions. Actually, it's okay to ask maintainers and collaborators a question of how things done or whatever you think about. If you don't understand what is this tool about, just ask the question. That's a good example of this question, Well, that's a good issue because it helps others to understand. It shows the maintainer that, well, there is no clear statement. Why did you build this stuff, right? You should explain it somewhere in your documentation, maybe, or anywhere. Maybe you shouldn't build it at all. I don't know. So asking questions is a good way to become a reporter too. And one more activity is sharing feedback. And that's a great example by Julia Evans. When she started her RB Spy project, he started collecting some kind of feedback from people who adopted it, including me, for example. And she created an issue. Please share your stories. How did you use Ruby? Because sharing your cases would help me to build a better software, to understand community needs. And yesterday at the party, despite from I'm Russian, I didn't drink vodka. I like these guys. And I was talking to a lot of people, and it turned out that many of you already tried a Jam test probe I've been talking about yesterday, and they had their success stories. I didn't really like that, because, well, I was really surprised. And, well, I opened the same issue, and I invite you, when you try my Jam, just share your opinion, share your success story, how you make everything 5 times faster or whatever. That would help me to build a better tool that will help others to understand what can go wrong, That's just this kind of source of information which would be useful for everyone in the community. So I'm just trying to convince you to be not just an open source user, but someone more. From, as I saw, reporter to collaborator and maintainer. And I have 40 seconds and about a dozen stickers. So find me somewhere after the lightning talks. Thank you.
Thank you, Balkan.
Thank you very much. Now let's see how much time it takes IT guys to make the setup as fast as they can, so we can turn again the timer and see the result, whether they'll be like in Formula 1.
Yeah, we have the timer over there, so it's already 5 seconds.
Okay, 5 seconds. 5 seconds left. Come on, Gianata, you can do it. Some applause for Gianata. He's doing his best. Sorry, you're out of time. Anyways, now let's hear your applause for Andrew and for Gianata, who is doing his best right now.
Yeah, one thing led to another.
We have 2 okays here and no presentation going on. Okay, we're set.
Hello. So this is story starts with an angry tweet pointing to an angry Medium article. This friend of mine was angry about a campaign called Cyber Need. It was organized by the Bulgarian government, and the goal was to educate people on sort of basic security principles. Now, it did some things very well. It did some other things not very well. It had an online security quiz which asked for your name, email, and phone number at the very beginning, and then sent them to the actual third-party contractors that made the quiz, which is not something you want to promote in terms of security. Currently, it's slightly better. It only asks for email. So anyway, I basically called him out, like, okay, if you want to do something about it, maybe try to do something better. So we've made the repo called SaneSecurity.online. It's a static site made with Hugo, and it has a bunch of posts, not a whole lot, because we make them slowly, all in Bulgarian. The domain name is actually in Bulgarian. The sort of canonical URL is razumnasigurnost.online, which is a weird thing to say, but it's the thing. It works, surprisingly enough, in Bulgarian. It has some problems with Twitter, or Twitter has some problems with it, so we'll see if we do that. To give an example of the kind of articles we write, I wrote an article about phishing, what is phishing, impersonation, and so on. How do we recognize it? And I think for most of us, it will basically be, well, the site or email just looks dodgy. Right? But the problem is, most people don't get what that means. It's an intuition that we've sort of built up over the years, and it pays off to break it down. Does it ask you for a password for a credit card? Well, that means you should probably take a look at it. Does it use HTTPS? Is it actually Facebook.com, or is it Facebook.foo.com? Are there typos or broken images? Or, this one might be due to, I want to say incompetence, but I don't want to throw any stones here. I, in particular, email formatting is hard. Anyway, so I have two calls to action here. If you're Bulgarian, consider helping out. You could open a PR or an issue on GitHub, or you can just directly email us if you don't have a GitHub account or want to contact us in a different way. We're not security specialists. We're just trying to distill some sort of common sense, techie common sense into, for non-technical. So if you find any issues, also just contact us and we'll fix it. If you're a non-English speaker, so from a non-English speaking country, not Bulgarian, consider making some kind of this. I think a lot of us make blog posts and articles for other tech people, and I think that's fine. And usually they end up being in English because that's the language we typically tend to use. What I'm asking is sort of the opposite of that. Look for a local audience that would not get this resource out of a different place. Because I don't think that you should read English to at least be safe online. For instance, somebody might see an article that says a schoolboy hacks his school registry and changes his grades. by using Chrome DevTools, which is an actual thing that happened, by the way, which is an actual thing that was reported by a reputable news source in Bulgaria. It was quickly retracted, but we had a lot of fun doing that. Fun, though, is not what most people would probably get out of it. I mean, for us tech kids, this is funny. For non-tech people, it was probably a bit scary and worrying. What's up with, children cybering their school grades? And that's why, if you see something like this, well, what you could do is sit down and write a non-angry article that explains, client side and server side in a very, very basic way, very fundamental way. Explains why this was not such a big deal. And I don't send it to your non-tech friends or relatives who might be panicking about it. I think it's not going to get tech popular, it's not going to get GitHub famous, but it's going to help somebody who might need the help to be a bit safer online, and I think that's something. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Andrew, for speaking 3 times slower than normal. I guess it's because you're a bit sick.
So the next one is Duke with keyboard shortcuts combinations.
Back to the busy. snake case around the names. So please, you guys with laptop, try to write this code quickly, and you will notice that you move your right hand a few times just to catch up with that underscore sign. So, why you should move your hand? Because that's underscore. It's easier to just how to clear this right. Okay, so you can use the tools in your computer. Just remember underscore and some other key. So it will be much faster. You use also the commands. So if you want to write some factory or something else, you also need to move your fingers to catch up with the semicolons. But why? You can remap that key to something like write F or something. So you can type much faster. Another thing which I work every day is multiple windows. In each window I open Rails server, Rails testing, delete jobs and something else. Also I need one window for the actual code and several Chrome or Firefox windows. And for each tab I need developer tools. So how you manage to switch between them? So you probably use Alt and tab or your mouse or something. But that's slow. So I created some scripts to. So also if you're a freelancer, you're working with multiple clients at the same time. So you multiple that, for example, 4 times in 4 different viewports. So this is my screen. So if I want to jump to some specific window, I use these tools. For Linux, it is X2 tool. For Mac, recently I created some AppleScript. It's a little bit slower, but it works. For Windows, please create some pull request. And usually I map them to app and some keys on the main window. This is some code from that. You can see that. So with one command you start all your windows and you can switch to them. You can also load all your configuration. Like if you use Neo4j database, you don't need to write every time you start that project. Please start that database or even I don't need to write Rails server anymore. I just use those shortcuts. It runs Rails server and open the browser with one command. So because I use 4 different viewports for 4 clients, it opens each Rails server in different port. And you should also learn Vim and use all those fine shortcuts. And there is a browser plugin also, so you should check out that. And that's all. I mean, please, if you have some ideas how to improve interaction between human and keyboard, write comment or issue on this GitHub, so we can expand that and teach other people how to make them faster and easier to use the website. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Now we also have another setup to do for 12 seconds, let's say, or at least let's try. And again, we have Tomasz on stage, and we're not ready. But he's giving like 5 seconds, but he only has 2. Yeah, you see? This red light over there. We are getting punctual these days.
Okay, well, basically, he has my slides, so yeah.
Okay, so we're getting clever. With every single presentation, we're getting faster. So last time we were 13 seconds later, and right now we're getting better. But that's also enjoyable to watch. You see rainbows and unicorns. Okay, we're ready.
Hi, thanks. So I'm Tomasz, and there's been a lot of very interesting tech today. Hold on, there's a timer. Thank you. There's been a lot of interesting tech today going on, like some of awesome stuff I haven't seen before. My personal favorite being Rubex, so I'm already playing with it. Great stuff. So I'm going to talk about something super boring and super durable, something that most of us either love or try to avoid: spreadsheets. So why spreadsheets? Like for us programmers, spreadsheets are more something inferior, something that's less powerful than the tools you use, because, well, they are. And something that we usually don't touch, something we associate with numbers, with boring jobs, with terrible number crunching, which is not the fun stuff we can do with processing, or with fun visualization, or with fun 3D mapping that we can print on the printer. No, just the most boring stuff that numbers can do. But the thing is that spreadsheets are the basic tool of many professions. Even the ones that have dedicated software, there are still a lot of people who work mostly with spreadsheets, or who sometimes do jobs which require or which use primarily the spreadsheet for their work. So, and as software is looking to work, we shouldn't kind of drop it out. Spreadsheets are familiar for those people. They are easy to use, they are easy to adapt. They are the primary interface with which those people think. They're the primary ways to visualize and operate on data that those people have, and basic ways for those people to, well, I'm saying for those people, for us as well. I'm working with spreadsheets a bit as well. And they're a basic way of thinking about numerical data, about producing numerical data from other numerical data. It's also something that sometimes needs to be addressed. And basically, spreadsheets get shit done. Those people don't care about beautiful code, beautiful stuff, or abstractions, and anything like this. They have a job to do, and the spreadsheets allow them to do this job. And what's also more important, that spreadsheets are way better than dedicated software. Like any dedicated software, when it needs to be adapted in the organization, it first has to beat Excel or any other spreadsheet engine, because, well, they are usually, of course, pretty useful, familiar, and pretty powerful, with way less clicks to accomplish many things. So yeah, spreadsheets. So spreadsheets seem to be in decline. It seems like there's a lot of data in the cloud services, so it's not that easy to pull them off, fill them up. We have to export the data or import them or anything like this. But maybe we would be able to use cloud services, use SaaS software, and, well, not us, maybe those people that have to operate on spreadsheets, and still work on the spreadsheet. So what if we have a spreadsheet and that it could talk of an API, an external API? That could be super awesome. But still, the data could still be pulled from outside sources, and still the people who work with spreadsheets, they still could operate on this data from external sources. So, is it possible? Well, it was possible a long time ago with Visual Basic for applications, except that nobody liked it, because nobody liked Visual Basic, and nobody liked the Microsoft stack, and nobody liked the development environment that it forced everyone into. It's like, I'm sorry, I'm talking fast, and this timer doesn't help us. So. But there's been a recent addition in the world of spreadsheets. There's a possibility to script some of the spreadsheets in JavaScript. So it's landed in Google Apps, Google Sheets, and Google Docs some time ago. And recently it's been also added by Microsoft. Yeah, I know I just blessed Microsoft, but anyway, they did it anyway, into their suite. So spreadsheets can be scripted with JavaScript now. I know. I'm sorry. Yes, there's going to be a bit of JavaScript here. If you don't like a piece of your eyes for a while, there's a minute to it here. So. Basically, there are custom functions in Google Sheets that you can write in JavaScript. They can either do simple calculations, but you can also fetch data from the internet. So, for example, there's a class that allows us to fetch data from the internet. So basically, talk with any API, because it allows us to do a get or post request. And for example, we can write some simple JavaScript, like this is the simple JavaScript. We basically gather some data, prepare URL parameters, send the request, and then prepare the data to be returned as array of arrays. And can you help now? We put it in a spreadsheet. We have an API that we want to work with, and there's a toggle API with with some kind of data entries for time tracking. I just wrote a simple function. It's an actual live code that I'm using in an actual live spreadsheet for budgeting. we return an array of arrays, and it gets pulled up from the external source, and it works. Okay, I need to get back to my slides now. Thank you. Wow, and I still got 25 seconds. So yeah, so we just run this functional sheet, it works. And there's a lot more. You can use Google services through this API, you can use JDBC, which allows you to talk with any database that can be operated with JDBC. You can also use spreadsheet API to, for example, create charts. So basically, there's a lot of stuff you can do with JavaScript and Google spreadsheets. I've got 5 seconds left. I'm Tomasz. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I would definitely want to see on our next conference some panel debate between you and Andrew. That would be enjoyable to watch. So next one on the list.
Yeah, we can record that and then run it twice smaller.
Yeah, so that somebody actually understands something.
Okay, next one is Martin, who's going to tell us about working remotely before it was popular.
Hi guys, and ladies and gentlemen, welcome again. Let's talk about remote work. Who here work remotely? Okay. Who works explicitly remotely? Okay. 5 years? 10 years? 20 years? Okay. I'm asking that because I was last time in Minsk on conference, I was struck about people not knowing about remote work. Yeah, that's true. Like, people were stunned when we discussed like no commuting, like saving 2 hours a day, like being everywhere when you want in the world and do your job. This comes to conditions, yeah. That's like when you're searching for a job, most recruiters says to you like money, yeah. And when you work remotely, it's not about money. You can be anywhere in the world. Money doesn't count that much. So there is like this concept of other currency, like freedom, happiness, and other things, whatever is needed for remote stay. Yeah? And like 4 years ago, I stumbled upon digital nomadism, like digital nomads movement. So basically people living in Bali or other places in the world, and they just live there. They, I don't know, they expenses like nothing, and they work. And this is fun, basically. The next thing would be how to get there. Because, like, for all those years we worked remotely with my friends, one fix is very distinctive. Because working for companies that do not work remotely only, or they do not build remote teams is difficult, because for most times remote workers are treated like not fully workers, yeah? So if you search for a remote job, try to consider a company which works only remotely or creates remote teams, like separate team which is only remotely. Regarding nomadism, I started to travel like half a year ago, right now in Berlin, until end of June. And it comes to opportunities, because my friend in Berlin had an apartment for 2 months, for basically nothing. When you work remotely, you can take opportunities like this. You can visit your friend in Sofia, Bulgaria, and have some fun from time to time. I suppose some people know what I'm talking about. Anyways, it's about this paradigm shift towards work. Try to, I don't know, investigate what you can do to work remotely, and I guarantee you, roller coaster in your life, you meet crazy people around the world, I would say, and you'll have a lot of fun, and in some cases, lots of money. Thank you.
Thank you very much for this useful career advice for both the programmers and maybe the HRs who maybe were interested. Now we have another setup, so you already know how much time it takes. You can just stretch a little bit or hug the person who is next to you. And yeah, we're ready with that.
Oh, that was the
No time for hugging.
Hello, I would like to talk about gem dependencies, maybe not in the way you would expect it. This is a lightning talk which was inspired by Andrew Nesbitt's talk with a little help from my friends which he gave at Balkan Ruby this year in March. It was a 30-minute talk and I don't have that time. Andrew took this data from libraries.io, which is a website he's maintaining himself, where you can get information about many different libraries or different projects, not only Ruby. And he also has data from RubyGems.org, which you all know. So he took information from about 25 million open source repositories, Ruby projects. On average, there were like 52 gems per gem file, which to me sounds like being quite small projects. 52 gems, I think most of us it's more. 46% of those gems have not been updated in the last 3 years. Which obviously means they're already perfect. Or maybe not. 28% of those gems, and that's still 37,000 gems we're talking about, have no license declared. Which basically means you are not allowed to use them. So who of you actually checks which license a new gem has if you enter a project? It has to get better. 90% of the gems have a pass factor of 1. So what is a pass factor? Most people might not know it. It basically says how many people in a project have to be run over by a bus to make this project basically come to a standstill. So the average gem only has 1.2 owners. An owner of a gem is the one person that is allowed to release the gem new on Ruby gems. So, kind of dependent. And every gem is a potential attack vector. But don't worry, that's not a bug. It's a feature. So, when you install a gem, there can be arbitrary code be executed. You all know this. Nukagiri installs native extensions. Yeah, that's the moment when they could potentially mine bitcoins on your machine. But we all trust the maintainers and authors of gems that they don't do that. Andrew estimated that there are like 500,000 Ruby developers. To me, that number sounds quite high, I'm not really sure. But there are 144,000 gems and 50,000 gem owners. For 144,000 gems, only 0.1% make up for 80% of all downloads. So gems we have in basically all the projects like Rake and Aspec and to some extent Rails maybe. So it's only 160 gems we're using all the time. And now comes the scary part. Those 160 gems which we're all basing our projects on are maintained by only 262 people. So relying basically with most of our projects on the work of 262 people. Wow. So what we can do for the maintainers so that they maybe can use the little time they actually have better. So we could send some user data. Because maintainers often don't know the Ruby version that gem is running on, the operating system, which gems are used together with their gems, which errors happen, and which other gems are included then, and so on, and which parts of the code are actually used. So Ruby gems already collect install stats, but doesn't make them accessible yet. I heard they're working on that. Bugsnag and other services could share anonymized error stats. Performance stats are collected by New Relic and other services. They could also be maybe made available. That could all help maintainers to concentrate their work on the best parts and remove non-used methods, for example. I think we can even do more for maintainers, like us or the companies we work for. They should actually sponsor owners and maintainers of gems. They should hire them and let them work on open source. Like, for example, Cookpad has a few of the Ruby core developers on the salary list. And they work only on Ruby, not on Cookpad. Or GitHub, for example, has Aaron Patterson as one of the salary list. And he's working on GitHub, but he also has time to spend on Ruby and Rails. On top of that, I would also
say that owners of gems should actually give push rights much faster to people than open pull requests. So the more people you have in a project, the higher the bus factors are, obviously, and the faster questions will be answered, issues will be handled, pull requests will be handled, and that will make the whole gem development faster and more people, yeah, would be happy to participate in open source. And that was it.
Andreas, really nice stats. And the last lightning talk, we're gonna do another switch, which should be really quick. And Robert are going to tell us about something. It's a secret.
Okay, hi. I hope that you guys feel better than I today, relating to yesterday's party. Yeah, GDPR. I think that every one of you gets a lot of stuff last days, and yeah, maybe I'll be talking about this today. Yeah, let me introduce myself. I'm Robert, and this is me eating stuff. That's how I'm eating. Currently, I'm working at Interway. We're doing stuff related to hydrologation with use of Bluetooth beacons. Yeah, and we gained some stats there and etc. Yeah, I'm from Poland, since my family city is Wrocław, and we've got a lot of buildings made of red bricks, fancy trams. And if you would like to go there, it will only take you 10 days to go there by walk. So yeah, feel invited. Yeah, okay. The talk isn't about GDPR, actually, sorry. Yeah, this is a surprise, GraphQL. Probably a lot of you heard a lot about GraphQL already, but please tell me, how many of you experiment with GraphQL or implemented it on production already? Okay, not so much. Yeah, sorry, it wasn't so funny. So, why do I want to talk today about this? Because yesterday someone asked me about the GraphQL, is it worth using it? And was the answer, yeah, of course, definitely. And why? The difference between GraphQL and REST API is that you don't make so much requests to ask for resources. There's just a single request, and there's no network overhead. So you really gain a lot increase in your query timing. And also flexibility, so you don't really need a lot of serializers for desktop app or mobile app, etc. So yeah, these are the advantages of using it. And here are some benchmarks. We implemented it for our analytical dashboard purposes, and it appeared that right now it fetches 10 times faster than earlier. Yeah, so it's pretty nice. And here is just a sample of object definition, and you've got description fields, so you can already implement documentation on the code-based level. Also, there are some resolve functions that are classes with call methods, and they will be automatically called. Arguments. This is really handy because, as you can see, we define type, the default value, and also description. So again, we can describe which, what arguments really are, and also, as Robert mentioned yesterday, the convention in GraphQL, there's the camel case for naming fields, but we can a little bit make it more Ruby. Like we just make the interface like stick to the convention, and then make an alias with S statement. So you know, this we can just stick to the convention with this. Yeah, about the schema stuff, we can customize our schema. We can use max depth statement or max text. So with with great power, there comes great risk. Also of making some really complex queries that can freeze your server, for example. Yeah, arguments notification. This is so there are a lot of fields, and there can be more. And there was a problem that there's a lot of fields that were duplicated between fields. So yeah, we tried to make some solution for this and created a gem called shared gems. And yeah, you can just use it on the level of object type. Yeah, and you can just make some exceptions to what fields won't be applied, or just selections and stuff like that. Okay, thanks. And yeah, I really encourage using GraphQL. It has a lot of advantages, and yeah, I don't have more time.